is Glenn McCrory, and you're watching Lights Out.
One. This is Lights Out. I'm Faisal Khan. Welcome to our weekly podcast, joined by the usual faces, HF and Ron. This podcast this week is going to be quite interesting because we're going to be talking about the preview of this Saturday night's rematch at the O2 Arena in London between Tony Bellew versus David Haye, the highly anticipated rematch that was scheduled to take place on December 17th, but due to an injury to David Haye, it's been brought to May. Now, we've waited a long time since last year, HF, for the rematch. Excited much?
Yeah, definitely excited. Haye versus Bellew again. The questions that will be answered now, once and for all, is Bellew getting too much credit, or was the injury the reason why David Haye lost? So those answers are going to be given to us this time round, and we're going to look forward to hearing them and seeing them.
I mean, the lead up to the build up to the last fight, you know, you had the little confrontation that gloves are off, the little, I just gave him a slap across the face to David Haye, absolutely going mental in the press conference in Liverpool, and then obviously the fight, which a lot of people enjoyed. How excited are you to see it finally happening? We've waited a hell of a long time for it, and it's finally here.
I mean, the first fight, the build up to it. You know, so often you have these big builds up, and you know the fight lets you down, but that definitely did not let us down. There was lots of drama and suspense in that in the first few rounds, but it's been quite different this time round, hasn't it? Would you agree? I mean,
I think
with David Haye,
it's a humble David Haye this time.
Well, you wouldn't agree with that, but you know, I think he has been humbled. I think he's watching his choice of words, and Bellew, a lot of statements. I mean, look, he's not as brash and as over cocky as confident as he was.
He's not doing his Scouser impressions.
I think he's more trying to avoid the embarrassment.
Let's rewind back to last year, the first fight at the O2. What's your memories of that fight?
I mean, the first few rounds were interesting. As a David Haye fan, I thought he was going to blast him out early. You know, a heavyweight hitting a cruiserweight. There was only going to be one conclusion, in my opinion, but that didn't, seem to come to light. I think, Bellew impressed me with his boxing abilities. He evaded a lot of punches. He made Haye look reckless in his kind of fighting style. I didn't like that. I don't think he was very happy with that. He was frustrated, and he didn't have much of a game plan, in my opinion. He didn't get behind that jab. He didn't use his footwork as he's shown in throughout his career. But Tony Bellew showed he has a chin. He could take a punch, which many thought he couldn't.
What did you make of that fight up until the injury to David Haye? Give me your scorecards up until the injury.
I think I had Haye 4-1 up.
Bit generous, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think Haye started out fast, and Bellew's game plan was just make sure he tires Haye out and just avoid the punches.
First round? Did you give it to Haye or
Bellew? I don't remember the first round, the first couple of rounds being. So I do remember giving majority of the rounds to David Haye.
Okay, fair enough.
I wasn't doing scorecards at the time, but yeah, Bellew's game plan was to stick and move and just feel out the punching power of Haye. Haye did gain a few shots. Bellew took them.
Before that first fight, Tony Bellew quoted on David Haye, he hasn't got the gas tank anymore. He hasn't got the dogfight in him anymore. He's going to get too emotionally involved. You've seen the best of David Haye, and he's too injury prone. Everything that Tony Bellew said for the build up to that fight more or less came true, didn't it?
Well, I think a lot of it is down to the fact that Haye just came in way too heavy. So his legs, his body couldn't take the weight. Basically, he couldn't take the weight. And
I agree with him. He just didn't look in shape. He's
basically. Sorry. Yeah. Basically, he came in too top heavy.
Yeah.
And his legs were not strong enough, which hence the reason for the Achilles injury. That's what happened.
I want to ask you something.
He looked sluggish. It was with that much weight. He wasn't his kind of smooth, slick style that he was going for.
I want to ask you something. When you talk about David Haye, you're talking about a guy that's a former cruiserweight world champion, a former heavyweight world champion, but you also talk about a guy that's had his career hampered by injuries. Pulling out of a Tyson Fury on two occasions due to injury. Biggest night of his career, a broken toe, stops him from boxing against Vladimir Klitschko. Then obviously, many years out of the ring, he has the two warm-up fights which no one really took an interest in. This was his first big box office event. and again it all comes down to an injury, stopped David Haye. Do you think the injuries have got the better of David Haye?
I mean, look, let's be honest. He's had a remarkable career up to the date. You know, he's had some big wins. I think injuries have kind of hindered his progress. We would love to have seen it, David Haye up with the Joshuas and the Wilders and, you know, Baby Millers at this very point in his career, rather than fighting a cruiserweight who's kind of stepping up to heavyweight. Yeah, I mean, I do feel it's probably something on the back of his mind when he's in that ring.
I mentioned obviously that the rematch was scheduled to take place in 2017 in December. Obviously, another injury to David Haye.
Yeah.
You know, the bicep injury. Do you think the weight and the fact that Tony Bellew's lost a year of his career waiting for David Haye, do you think that's going to fire Tony Bellew up even more for Saturday night?
Yeah, definitely. But obviously, you talking about the injury. I think because of his David Haye's left bicep, is he going to be hesitant to throw the jab now? Is he going to be hesitant to throw the left hook? You know, so that's gonna affect his game plan. Because if he comes in looking for the knockout and not throwing the jab, we might see the same fight again.
A lot of people, especially after that first fight, are saying the injury is what helped Tony Bellew win the first fight. The fact that David Haye probably didn't take Tony Bellew too serious is what helped him win the first fight. Do you think perhaps maybe the injury could play into the favour of David Haye because it's more months of preparation for him? It gets inside the mind of Tony Bellew, and this time round, David Haye looks as if he's taking it a lot more serious.
Well, he is taking it seriously. I mean, you've realised that Tony Bellew is not the pushover that he thought he was. He can take a punch. So he's got to come in with a game plan. He's doing his bit in the gym. He's training hard now. He's going to come in light. Hopefully,
also a change of trainer as well. I mean, from McGuigan to
Ismail Salas.
So there's going to be something different to the previous fight. I mean, I agree with you. Yeah.
If we rewind back all the years, David Haye, we remember him winning the world title. You know, the fight against John Ruiz. You know, and that all-out brawl in the press conference after the Chisora fight against Klitschko, and now it's kind of like he's gone down the pecking order because of all them years out, that horrible performance he put up against Klitschko, regardless of a toe injury or not. Do you think this is the last chance for David Haye in boxing?
In one word, yes, I do. He loses this, where does he go from here? He's almost like the forgotten man in the heavyweight division, considering this is the guy that brought the heavyweight title back to England since Sir Lex Lewis. You know, we expected big things from him. For, you know, when he challenged Klitschko. You know, I mean, I assumed Tyson Fury was going to go the same way because, you know, Tyson Fury was building up the fight. And I was like, I'm not another Brit doing the same thing, but fair play to him. I mean, that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, if he loses this fight, I cannot see where he goes from here. You know, who would take up on that?
If he wins, if Haye wins, 37 years of age.
Yeah.
Do you reckon perhaps people might stop thinking about your Wilders, your AJs, you know, your Baby Gerald Millers, your Dillian Whites, your Povetkins, and think, well, hold on a second. Well, former world champion as well as Tyson Fury making a comeback. This guy's well and truly on the scene as well.
Well, obviously they're gonna, because Haye represents big money. Everyone fights for the money. Let's not kid ourselves. Haye is against AJ in Wembley. It's a big fight. It's a sellout. Haye's a big name. He's a big.
Both Londoners.
Yeah, and I think Haye's underachieved in his career with the amount of talent he's got with the braggadocio, with the
Don't
power.
forget he's got his own promotions business as well now. He's looking after
the makings to be
good fighters like Joe Joyce. Yeah.
But he's just underachieved. He's relied too much on his
I
power.
want to ask you something. We've spoken about what David Haye does if he loses and what he could potentially do if he wins the fight. Tony Bellew wins on Saturday night. He's obviously claimed he's not ready for the likes of the Wilders and the AJs, which, you know, fair play to
I
him.
appreciate the honesty there.
We've still got two top contenders in the cruiserweight division in Usyk and Gassiev. How big a fight would that be if he can get?
I mean, they're two potential fights I'd love to see. I mean, David Haye was kind of, I don't know if he was playfully trying to taunt him or if he was trying to say,
gloves are off.
Yeah, and the gloves are off. I mean, not only just those two fights. I mean, I've been here. I don't know if they're rumours or if they're true, but I mean, Andre Ward kind of potentially looking to come back into boxing again and fighting Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, the options are there, and he kind of puts him on that platform again. He says he's got 2 or 3 fights left.
35 years of age, nearly 32 fights in his career. You know, he's won the cruiserweight title. You know, British Commonwealth in the cruiserweight division as well. if he could win this fight, what do you think the next step for Tony Bellew could be?
Well, if he wins the fight, then obviously that rules out a trilogy. Obviously, I was going to say that, but I can't see any big fights in the heavyweight division apart from Parker. But Parker doesn't hold a belt anymore, so we don't know how much his appeal has gone to now. So I see him probably going back down to cruiserweight, maybe fighting the winner of the tournament between Isaac Gassiev. If not, then fighting Andre Ward. That's a big money fight. He'll sell out O2 Arena, big pay-per-view numbers. All of that's a big risk, though. It's a big risk.
Let's get some predictions. What happens on Saturday night, Ron, at the O2 Arena in London?
Hands down, I think David Haye wins this. Fit David Haye, if he keeps injury free. I mean, the bicep is intact. Achilles heel stays where it is. I think he wins this. I can't see any other full conclusion. I think he stops him.
Ron has said that he gives David Haye the win.
I'm gonna go for Haye stoppage late as well. Haye's gonna walk in if he has the right game plan. The right game plan for me, if I was a trainer, go there, jab, left and right, move around ring, and let Bellew chase him. He's gonna walk into a big right hand, and then you take it from there.
Wait, up. Where do you go?
I'm backing Tony Bellew because listen,
how does Bellew win this fight then?
Does exactly what he does last time.
You reckon he stops him?
Lets David Haye let the emotions get better.
Well, he hasn't so far in the build up to it.
He just waits for that right moment when the gas tank runs low, when the dogfight goes out the window. Because if it does come down to it, there's only one man that wins it, and that for me. Listen, Ron.
If we look at the last fight, right? I want to touch it. I mean, whose gas tank rank empty? It won Bellew.
Why can't Bellew win this fight?
No, I'm not saying he wins by knockout though. Not by knockout.
Injury or not, he still won the last fight. Did we actually see before the injury? Can you tell me one time in the fight you saw Tony Bellew hurt? Look as if.
I know. I mean, I've complimented. I mean, I thought I commended him.
I personally think looking at this rivalry, this road that these two have been on, I think Tony Bellew has got inside the head of David Haye so badly that David Haye will probably go into that fight on Saturday night, and I think he might not know whether to box, whether to knock him out. Possibly. Because hence to why I'm thinking Tony Bellew. Now, regardless of what people think of Bellew, he knows how to wind up his opponent. I mean, he's that good at it.
You have to go into a boxing fight fully focused.
Exactly.
No emotions.
Exactly. I mean, just look
at Tyson against Holyfield. What happened in the rematch?
David Haye obviously has had his controversial moments in boxing, but rewind back to the press conference before the first fight in Liverpool. He went absolutely berserk. Not just on Tony Bellew, on the Liverpool fans. He went berserk on Eddie Hearn. And I think it just boils down to one thing. Haye wants to knock out Bellew. Bellew just wants to beat him. There's a difference, and I personally think Bellew wins on Saturday night. That's my prediction, and it's as simple as that. And there's only one way to find out what happens on Saturday night. Tune into Sky Sports Box Office. It's going to be an incredible fight. We're looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And we want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for watching our podcast. I'm Faisal Khan. Thank you for watching. Lights out.